Good morning, everyone. We are here at beautiful Percy Priest Lake outside of Nashville, Tennessee. I'm here with my dear friend DeRusha, and we're going to go through a little warrior and balance sequence for you today. And of course, Button Jackson will also be here. Thank goodness. So let's just start this morning. Remember to listen to your body. Don't push yourself too much, but you want to challenge yourself. So I'm going to give you multiple options for each pose, and you'll want to choose the option that's right for you. Right? Okay, so here we go. We've got a couple of blocks. They're not necessary, but they may come in handy later if you'd like to use them. And I'll show you when that would be appropriate as well. So remember, before you ever start a program like yoga, always consult your doctor and make sure that that's the right fit for you. If you get in a position that's not comfortable, you want to get out of that, and just always listen to your body. So make good choices. So here we go. We're going to start just centering ourselves to this beautiful morning and beautiful sunrise, and taking a few deep breaths in and out. Sitting up nice and tall. Close your eyes if that feels good. In through your nose, out through your nose. We've got a beautiful breeze. It's a great day for some yoga. Take about 4 more deep breaths here. Next inhale, sit up nice and tall. Put your hands on your lap, or on your knees rather, palms up. And let's just enjoy this breeze as we start to move our torso. We're going to move like in a small circle. We're going to lead with our chest as we go forward. And then as we go back, we're going to grab our knees and we're going to curve our back. So forward, lead with your chest, shoulders are back. And as you go around, is to curve your back and your shoulders go forward. So let's just make a few of those circles right there. As we get into it, we can make bigger circles as we get more warmed up. And let's go in the opposite direction. And even at this point, you're still engaging your core, that entire cylinder around your midsection, not just your abs, of course. All right, sitting up nice and tall again, we're going to go with cactus arms. We're a cactus, and we're just going to laterally flex, side flex, one side to the other. There's not much movement here, but we want to make sure we're going to stay in the same plane. We don't want to be rotating forward. So cactus to the left, cactus to the right. We'll do that a couple more times at your own pace. And from here, we're going to make that a little bit more dynamic, where we stretch a little bit more to the side, and we're just going to go back and forth. Still in that same plane, trying not to rotate forward. Still engaging that whole core, waking up the body bit by bit. All right, the next one, we're still sitting up nice and tall. On an inhale, we're going to raise our arms up over our head. And on an exhale, we're going to splice them to our right. Rotating, still sitting up nice and tall. Beautiful. Looking at that gorgeous sunset. Sunrise. And arms go back up. And on an inhale, and we're going to splice in the other direction. And again, on an inhale, arms go up. On an exhale, going more toward the right. And on an inhale, arms go up and toward the left. wiggle it out, getting good and warmed up. Now we're just going to take our fingers, tense your fingers. This will stretch your wrists out also. And we're going to just go forward a little bit, little forward fold here, as far as you can. We'll take about 2 more breaths here. And gently walk yourself up. And now let's take our knees, grab your shins or your knees, and we're going to go through a cat-cow, just seated like this. So we're going to round our back, go into that cat position, chin down, really feel those shoulder blades come apart. And then we're actually going to take our hands behind us for cow and look up, arch the back slightly, and then go back into cat with our hands on our shins. Really feeling that stretch across your scapula, shoulder blades, and the other direction. Hands behind you, looking up, arching the back. Beautiful. One more time. And back into, there you are. Excellent. All right, now we're going to come on to all fours in a quadruped position. And we're going to do some bird dog. Button Jackson doesn't have any bird dog in her. All right, so neutral spine. Remember, shoulders want to be right over our wrists. Knees want to be right over your hips. So let's take, first of all, that right leg and extend it back. Straight back, try to get it back as far as you can. The right arm is going to extend forward. And we're just going to hold that for about 5 breaths. Trying to stretch out your arm, that left arm and that right leg as far apart as possible. Alright, set that down. We're just going to switch sides. Now we've got our left leg going back. And our right arm extending forward. And about another 5 breaths here. And set that down. And now let's widen our knees just slightly. And we're going to push our pelvis back into child's rest. Try to get the pelvis down as far as you can. And stretching those arms out in front of you as far as you can to feel not just the shoulder stretch, but also through those hips. And take about 4 breaths here. Alright, and as we come up, we're going to come up into a downward facing dog, so turn your toes under. Then we're just going to pelvis high to the sky. Try to get our head in between our arms as best we can, and just pedal your feet back and forth, walking the dog. Hello, dear. Trying to get those heels close to the ground. And then come up on your toes, and then take your knees down to where they're almost touching the mat. And we're just kind of hovering here in bear. Then we're going to go back into down dog. Pedaling again. Trying to get those heels close to the ground. And back into bear. Hover and bear. And back into down dog. And then let's just take our hands and walk them back to where our feet are. And now we're in a forward fold. Your knees can be bent if they need to be. Actually, let's do this. Let's bend our knees. Turn your hands this way. Put them under your feet. You're going to love this. And then you just try to straighten out your knees as much as you can. What the? That's not necessary, dear. That's what she did yesterday. Okay, we're going to take a time out.
That was great.
I know. Okay, we're back. We've cleaned, sterilized, and disinfected the mat. The dog went in to go back to bed, so I think we're okay. All right, we were in a forward fold, so we'll continue with that. Let's just take our arms up on an inhale, hands to touch at the top, a gentle back bend, and let's fold forward. Shake out your knees a little bit, and we're just going to hang out here for a minute. Get a nice forward fold. Grab your elbows if it feels good and kind of rock side to side a little bit. It's called ragdoll. And then let's come up into a half lift here, where our back is flat. Hands are probably right below your knees. Remember to engage that entire cylinder, that entire core. Shoulders are back and down. We're gazing forward. On an exhale, let's go back down into forward fold. And on an inhale, bend your knees and come up very, very slowly. Arms go up, hands to touch, and down to heart center. Beautiful. All right, let's move into a warrior sequence. We're going to come to the front of the mat. All right, here we go. On an inhale, arms go up, touch at the top. On an exhale, fold forward. We're going to step back with our right, then our left leg. We're in a plank position. Here we are in our plank. We're going to chaturanga on knees or toes. DeRusha's going to be on knees. I'm going to be on toes. So we go down, and we're going to come up into up dog or cobra. And we're going to hold that for just a moment. And now let's push back into child's rest. And then come on back up. Let's go into downward dog again. And this time we're going to do three-legged dog. So we're going to take that right leg, we're going to lift it high to the sky, and we're going to step it forward. Try to get it between our hands. However, step it, walk it, crawl it, it doesn't matter. There we go. And now we're going to come up into what's called Warrior One. So we're going to check our alignment here. Arms are up. Your front foot's parallel with the long side of the mat. And your back foot is about a 45-degree angle. And front knee is bent. Beautiful. And we're just going to hold that for about 5 breaths. All right, arms are going to come down. We're going to straighten out that front leg, keeping our back straight. And we're just going to lean forward into pyramid. Should feel a lovely stretch back here on that right hamstring. You don't have to come to the floor. This is a good time to grab your block. You grab a block. And you've got all the different levels of the block just to help support you, whatever feels good. You want to keep your back flat here, but that just gives you a little bit more support if you've got a block handy. So let's come back up into that Warrior One. And then we're going to flow between Warrior One and our pyramid. Get into it and go back up into Warrior One. Arms go up. And we straighten that right leg and go back into pyramid. Now one more time. Go back up into Warrior One. Arms go up. And flow down into pyramid. Awesome. And let's hold that for just a little bit. One more breath. We're going to come back up. And now we're going to turn. There we go. Now we're in Warrior Two. And check your feet position. So right leg, or right foot rather, parallel with the long side of the mat, and the left foot perpendicular to the right. Heels should be lined up. And then we're going to bend into that warrior two and hold that for about 5 breaths. Gaze is out over your right hand. And just breathe. About 2 more breaths here. All right, straighten out that right leg. Shift your weight to the right. And now that right arm comes down, that left arm goes up. Try not to roll forward. That back arm needs to open that shoulder. Two more breaths here. And come on back up, nice and slow, and back into warrior two. And now let's go into extended side angle. So we're taking that right elbow, it's coming down to that knee. The other arm, your left arm, is going over your head. So you're making a long line from that left leg all the way up to your left arm. Trying to roll that shoulder back. We don't want to go forward. Roll it back as much as you can. About 4 more breaths here. All right, come on up out of that. Back into warrior two. And then arms are going to go back down to the mat to frame that foot. We're going to take that foot that's up front and we're going to take it right back where it was, that 3-legged dog, and then back to downward dog. Let's go ahead and take a child's rest here. Push back, arms go forward. Take about 4 good breaths here. All right, come on back up into that downward dog. And now we're going to take the left leg and push up. Dive for 3-legged dog. Then we're going to take that and we're going to bring it forward as best we can. Step, walk, crawl, however you get it there. That's a tough one. And then we're going to come on up into warrior one. So that front knee is bent. Perfect. And now let's go into pyramid. Remember, we straighten the front leg, arms go back, and we're just flattening the back, feeling that great hamstring stretch. Shoulders are back and down. And we'll flow between these two for a moment. Back into warrior one, arms go up. And straighten that front leg. Pyramid pose. And back into warrior one, arms go up. And flow into pyramid. Let's hold this one for a moment. And once again, if you need the block, you've got the block right there. It does come in handy. All right, on your next inhale, come on up. Warrior one. Now we're going to face the sunrise into warrior two. So left foot parallel with the long length of the mat. There you go. And bend into it. So your right leg is knees. There we go. Perfect. Gaze is out over your left hand. About 3 more breaths here. Now straighten out that left leg. Shift your body to the left. There you go. And now we're just going to Just kind of spiral the arms. Awesome. And this one, your arm's going to be straight up. There we go. Perfect. Rolling that right shoulder back. Looks good. There you go. And come on back up into Warrior 2. Now we'll do that extended side angle, so that left elbow is going to be on the left knee, and that's where your arm comes all the way over. Nice. Got 3 more breaths here. Alright, back up into Warrior 2. And let's go back into Downward Dog. Cartwheel the arms forward. And we're going to take that foot, that left foot, we're going to put it right back where it was in 3-legged dog. And then set it down. And let's take a child's rest here. And walk your hands back toward, so you're sitting up on your knees. And we'll do a camel twist at this point. So you got some options for camel twist. So we're going to be kind of sitting on our knees. You could turn your toes under so you can reach your heels better. You could also have a block back there if that's what works best for you. We're going to start with the left. We're going to go between the camel twist and then child's pose. Okay. So if you're using the block, doesn't matter what your feet position is, get the block behind you. I'm going to start with my right hand going up, and you're just going to arch your back slightly, come down. So the other option would be, if you're not using the block, would be to grab hold of that heel with your toes up, and the more challenging option would be have your foot flat and go back. Whichever one feels best. You got one?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so here we go. So let's do that. Right arm goes up first. And just go slow. And then we're going to come down into child's pose. But not for long, because we're going to the other side. Back bends are great for circulation. Back into child's rest. We live in this forward folding world, and we need more of the back bends in our lives. So right arm goes up and down into child's pose. And now coming back up, camel twist, little left arm goes up. All right, sit back on your knees, shake out your wrists a little bit. Excellent. We're going to do some balance work now. Okay. All right. Come on up, however you get there. We're going to start with tree, and then we'll do a couple of other fun things. So our options for tree, you could actually keep a toe on the ground if you need to. You could, and I'm going to face the camera just so you can see it. You could put your foot on your heel, or on your calf rather. Or you could tuck it in up here. We're going to have some different options for arms as well. You just don't want it on your knee. Okay? So whatever works for you. I'm going to start with my right leg up. Right now my hands are in prayer. To make it a little bit less challenging, you always keep your arms out. That makes it easier to balance. Find a point to focus on that's not moving. Makes it a little bit easier. So arms are here, or here, or they could be straight up. We want to make sure we externally rotate that hip as best you can, and we're just going to find that point to focus on and look straight ahead. And we're going to hold that for about 6 breaths. It's okay to teeter and totter. You get out of it, you just get right back into it. right, wherever your hands are, pull them back down into prayer. And take that leg that's up, just lift it, set your right ankle on your left knee. And now we're just going to try to squat down, like a single leg squat. It's called a figure 4. So we're getting a good stretch in this piriformis back here. Your arms can be out, or they could be in prayer at this point. They could even actually be holding on to your foot and your knee. And just get as low as you can. We're just going to hold this for a few more breaths here. All right, come on out of that. It's okay. Balance postures are tough, let me tell you. And then you feel it all in those little intrinsic muscles that don't get used very often. Okay, let's try the other side. So now my left foot's coming up. Once again, remember your options. Hands in prayer, airplane arms we call them, or straight up. I'll hold that, try to hold that for about 7 breaths. All right, wherever you want to keep your arms, you can keep them out, but we're going to take that foot now and the left ankle on the right knee, and then try to squat into that. You should feel that stretch in that piriformis muscle, which doesn't get stretched very often. Great stretch if you're a runner or not a runner. All right, come on up out of that. That was good. That's tough.
Feels better on that leg.
Yeah, we'll see that a lot of times we're better on one side than the other. All right, so from here, let's go into a wide leg forward fold. So legs out, toes toward the corners of the mat. On an inhale, arms go up. And on an exhale, let's just fold forward. We're going to take a few breaths here. Ragdoll your arms if that feels good. Just get a good solid stretch here. About 4 more breaths. All right, put your hands on your knees and come on up. Kind of in a goddess position here with our legs. But let's take that left shoulder and just push it forward with the right shoulder goes back, so we're getting a little spinal twist here as well. Sitting down deep into that squat, as deep as you can. And then just switch sides. Right shoulder goes forward, left shoulder goes back. And we'll go back and forth with this a few more times. Back to the left shoulder forward. Really opening up that rib cage on the left in this case. And back to the right. All right, now let's take our hands. We're going to put them in the goddess position with our mudra, with our thumb and forefinger. And we're just going to squat into that and hold that for just a little bit. About 2 more breaths. But I want you, if you can, if it feels good, to kind of pulse those knees back, back, back. Do that about 5 more times. 3, 2, 1. And up. Arms go up. And let's forward fold again. Now come up into that half lift where our back is flat. Back into a forward fold. And then come on all the way up. And hands in prayer. Okay, go back into that goddess. And get where you're comfortable. And then let's lift that left heel. And then lift the right. Lift the left. Sink down into it more if you can. Lift the right. Lift the left. Sink down some more. Lift the right. And if you can, lift both heels. A little bit more challenging. And we're just going to hold this for about 3 more breaths. And then come on up. And arms down. Nice. Beautiful. All right. Let's come down here again. We're going to go through a short plank series. And then we'll be just about done. We'll be ready for our final stretch. So let's go into plank on your toes. You can actually do this on your knees or your toes. So we'll do plank, front plank, and then we'll go into a couple of side planks. So from here, when I move into side plank, if you're on your knees, it would look like this. If you're on your toes, you can stack your feet or put them in front of each other. It would look like this. Okay, you got an idea of what you're doing? Okay, beautiful. Okay, so we're going to hold the front plank for just about 4 breaths here. Make sure that core is nice and engaged. Shoulders are really back and down. Then we're going to move into that side plank. My left hand's coming up. And back into the forward plank. And now the right arm's coming up. And back to the forward plank. Drop to your knees and push back into child's pose. Okay, come on up onto your knees, and let's do a couple of good stretches here. I'm going to take that right leg, pull it out. We're going to go into a lizard stretch, get a great anterior hip flexor stretch here, and just pushing into that. Hands can be on your knees. You can grab a block if that feels good to support yourself, and just let that hip open up. About 3 more breaths here. All right, we're going to push back into what's called a half split. That foot comes up, and we're just getting a good hamstring stretch here. Hands can be wherever. You can use the blocks if that's convenient. And then we're going to flow back into that lizard pose. And back into the half split. If you pull those toes back, makes it a much more intense stretch. Yeah, for sure. All right, back here, we're just going to switch sides. So get them far apart where you can feel that stretch really nice. And then just sink down into it. Sink your hips down into that. And half split. If you want to, the toes come back. You can even pull them back, which makes it much more intense. And flowing back into that lizard stretch. Sinking the hips way down. And one more time, half split. And back into the lizard. And then let's just take that and sit back. Take a few deep breaths here. Hero pose for a moment. It's very peaceful out here, isn't it? All right, let's go into a pitch and stretch, and then we'll do our final stretch. So we'll start excuse me, we'll start with in a quadruped position. We're going to take that right knee and we're going to pull it forward. There we go. It doesn't have to be perfectly perpendicular. I can't do that. But the goal here is to sink your hips down into that. Perfect. Perfect. So we're just going to sit here, get a nice stretch here. If it feels good, here's where you use the blocks if you want to. You can come down to your forearms if that feels good. Or you could even come down and rest your head. Get a little, there you go. So we'll take about 5 good breaths here. If you were down resting your head, come on back up to your hands. And let's arch that back. Try to bend that back knee if you can. Lovely. Now, a lot of times we'll go into screaming pigeon. We reach around and grab it. We're not going to do that today. I just want you to bend. You would be screaming, I know. There's a reason they call it that. All right, set that down gently. Just come back to your quadruped position and we're just going to switch sides. Now the left knee comes forward. There we go. Set it in. Sink into that. And whatever feels good, if it feels good to come down to your forearms, if it feels good to rest your head, go ahead and do that. You've got about 6 breaths here. When you're ready, come on up to your hands. And if you want to, just bend that. Just prepping for the next time we do it, we'll go into screaming pigeon. All right, and let's go back into hero pose. Okay, so for the last thing, we're going to do our Savasana. We're going to do it with the blocks. It's a little bit different. It's really a restorative pose, so we've made it through all the tough stuff. It's time to have some wonderful relaxation. So here's your options. You've got 2 blocks. One is going to support your head, and one is going to support your mid-back. Okay, so one option would be to have the blocks set up where you've got the lowest setting here, and then on its edge here. That would be one option. I'll show you what that looks like. And you may have to adjust them a little bit. And we're just going to lay with our palms up. So that's one option. If you like that one, and get it kind of where your bra line would be. And if it doesn't feel good, it's not where it should be exactly. Does that feel pretty good? The other option would be on the middle edge and the tall edge, and I'm going to do that one just to show both options. It's a little bit less support. It's going to open you up a little bit more. So great heart opener. Great restorative pose. Palms are up. You're just totally relaxed. Legs can be straight. You can bend your knees if that feels good. That takes a little pressure off the mid-back. Or you could actually bend the knees and then do a reclined butterfly, which is my favorite. Yes, feet are together. Whatever feels good. And we're going to close our eyes and we're going to take a few deep breaths here. And just sink into those blocks, sink into that mat. Let all the good work you've done today take over your body. Just let it sink in. And just breathe. We'll spend about a minute here. ready, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, open your eyes. To come out of this, it's probably best to take an elbow, roll to your side, and come out. We'll go back to our easy pose we started class. Take a few deep breaths. I feel taller. Do you feel taller? Namaste. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me there.
This has been awesome. Thank you for joining us. And we'll see you again soon.